Welcome to our English class. We are now on our quarter 2, week 1 with our PIVOT4A module. Welcome back to my channel. Our lesson for today is all about verbs. What are verbs? Verbs are action words. They are very important in learning a language. They are always present in sentences and in most expressions. With the presence of both the subject and the predicate that contains the verb, a sentence expresses a complete thought or idea. As a vital feature of English language, using appropriate verbs is necessary in composing clear and coherent sentences. In this lesson, you are expected to compose clear and coherent sentences using aspects of verb. Let us read the sentences below. Tita Joanna works hard to send her children in college. She worked as waitress in a restaurant last year. She will work in a foreign country to support her children's education. Now notice what the highlighted words express. These words are known as verbs. They express actions that take place in different periods, such as present, works, past, work, and future, will work, tenses of verbs. Tenses of verbs are necessary to show the differences as to when actions occur or happen. A verb is composed of tense and aspect. A verb tense or the time event indicates past, present, and future actions. Meanwhile, aspect refers to state of action of a verb and indicates the duration or completion of an event. There are 4 types of verb aspects. They are simple, progressive, perfect, and perfect progressive. Number 1 is the simple aspect. The simple present tense is used to describe general truths and habitual actions. This is letter A in simple aspect. Examples: the earth rotates around the sun. Delia walks to school every day. The sun rises in the east. They spend their vacation in Batanes every year. So we have here in the examples the general truths and habitual actions. We have here the clue words. For example, the earth rotates around the sun. It is a general truth. Delia walks to school every day. So every day is a habitual action. The sun rises in the east. It's a general truth. They spend their vacation in Batanes every year. Every year is the habitual action. And always remember, if the subject is singular, use the S form of a verb. If the subject is plural and or pronouns I and you, use the base form of a verb. Letter B in the simple aspect is the simple past tense. It is used to express an event or habitual action that was completed in the past. Example, the children watch a documentary film. Watch, that is past tense. It rained almost every week last month. So it rained means the action was already done. The clue word is last month. Letter C in the simple aspect is the simple future tense. It is used to express an action or habitual action to take place in the future time. For example, they will celebrate United Nations Day in October. After December, Richard will take the train to work every day. So remember, use will or shall plus the base form of the verb. Will celebrate, and will take the train. So that is an example of a simple future tense. Number 2, the progressive aspect. Letter A is the present progressive expresses ongoing actions. Examples, the students are taking the test now. The teacher is preparing the lessons. So remember, use be the am is are verb plus ing form of the verb. Letter B is the past progressive. It expresses an action in progress at some specific point of time in the past. For example, Timmy was walking to the office at 7 o'clock this morning. So there is a specific point of time, 7 o'clock this morning. I was preparing for the church at 6 o'clock yesterday. A past action simultaneous with another event. Example, they were preparing for the party when the visitors came. So remember, use be, was and were verb plus ing form of the verb. Letter C, the future progressive. It expresses an action that will be in progress at a specific time in the future. Examples, Trina will be graduating from elementary this year. The grade 5 pupils will be attending a mass tomorrow. Remember, use will, shall plus be plus ing form of the verb. Like this one, will be attending, will be graduating. That is the future progressive. Number 3, the perfect aspect. The present perfect expresses an action that began in the past and continues to the present time. For example, Sheila has been a Girl Scout since last year. A very recently completed action, often with just. Examples, Berta has just baked cakes or cookies. I have called the plumber. Remember, if the subject is singular, use has plus the past participle of a verb. If the subject is plural and or pronouns I and you, use have plus the past participle of a verb. Letter B is the past perfect. It is used to express an action that was completed before another action took place at some definite time in the past. For example, some supporters had already left before they proclaimed the elected officers. So remember, use had plus past participle of the verb. Letter C is the future perfect. It expresses a future action that will be completed before a specific future time. For example, I will have finished the school project before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So remember, use will, shall plus have plus past participle of the verb. Like this one, I will have finished the school project before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And number 4, perfect progressive aspect. The present perfect progressive in letter A, it expresses an action in progress that is not yet completed or a situation or habit that began in the past and that continues up to the present. Examples, Rowena has been reading that book. I have been accomplishing the task in this module. The athletes have been practicing. Remember, if the subject is singular, use has plus been plus ing form of the verb. If the subject is plural and or pronouns like I and you, use have plus been plus ing of the verb. Letter B, The past perfect progressive. It expresses an action or habit taking place over a period of time in the past before another past event or time. Examples. Carla had been trying to finish her degree that year. My father had been performing well, so the company gave him an award. Remember, use had plus been plus ing form of a verb. Letter C, the future perfect progressive. It expresses a habitual action that is taking place in the present and will continue in specific future time. Examples. Next month, the Bayanihan Dance Club will have been performing for 5 years. Helen will have been teaching for 10 years next week. Remember, use will, shall, plus have, plus been, plus ing form of the verb. So we have here the learning task 1. Write the correct form of the verb listen, as indicated in the parentheses. Do this in your notebook or in your pad papers. So we will use the verb listen. Number 1, I belong to the bedtime stories every night. So what will you use here is the simple present form of listen. Number 2, she belonged to the news yesterday. You use here the simple past tense of the word listen. Number 3, Yang belonged to her newly downloaded songs tonight. You will use the simple future tense of the word listen. Number 4, Willie belonged to the voice clip before the battery of his gadget completely drained. You will use the past perfect tense of the word listen. And number 5, we belong to the instructions while doing the activities. You will use the past progressive tense of the word listen. So let us see your answers. Okay, look at your answers. Number 1 is listen. Number 2, listened. Number 3, will listen. Number 4, had listened. And number 5, were listening. I hope you got it right. And for the other learning tiles, please refer to your module. And before we end our lesson for today, we have the 4 types of verb aspects. What are they? So, number 1 is the simple aspect. Number 2 is the progressive aspect. And number 3, the perfect aspect. And lastly, the perfect progressive aspect. Thank you for listening. See you next time.